Instant match reaction, Everton 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2 at Goodison Park. Very, very frustrating that in the end. A much better performance from Everton in comparison to the last couple against Brighton and Crystal Palace, but still ultimately there's a general feeling of frustration and a little bit of upset after that one tonight. We were much the better team for the majority of the game, but again it's a story of two defensive mistakes, and not even defensive mistakes that you sort of look at and think, oh yeah, they happen in games of football. Two absolutely woeful defensive mistakes and opportunities that we just simply didn't take. I mean, Everton turned up tonight. We battled. We had the likes of James Rodriguez, who was back at 110% and was absolutely everywhere for the first, for the entire game pretty much. But certainly in that first half, he was exceptional. We had Gylfi Sigurdsson, who had a really, really good game. Brilliant finish by him for the second goal. Calm penalty as well. Alan, who looked like he was back to 110%, but ultimately, like I said, there's still an overriding sort of feeling of frustration, I think, because we didn't manage to get the 3 points tonight. And that Tottenham team was very, very much there to be put to bed. They were shocking tonight. They were saved. They weren't even saved by Harry Kane. I mean, Sky Sports have gone on like the goals were the best goals ever scored. It was put on a play for him twice. If he wouldn't have scored them, then he shouldn't even be playing in the Premier League, to be honest with you, because I'd have expected any half-decent striker to score both of those chances. They were both put on a play for him. And Everton, like I said, we were the much better team, but ultimately at the end of it, it doesn't count for very much, does it? It feels very much like 2 points dropped rather than 1 point gained, and that is frustrating. I mean, there's a couple of ways to look at it. There is positives from the game, because one of the big positives is we were a lot better today than we have been in the last couple of games. We actually attacked today. We actually pressed Tottenham quite high. We forced them into making mistakes. We were getting forward. We were creating opportunities again. And we, for me, we were much the better team, like I said, for the majority of that game. But ultimately, I feel like Tottenham will feel the much happier team with the points. They'll feel like they've came away there, and ultimately they've taken a really good point in a game that they weren't very good in, and that's the frustrating element for Everton. Like I said, Everton going 1-0 down with a stupid defensive error. Started the game quite fast, quite well, playing some nice balls together, getting in some good areas, creating chances. I thought Tom Davies started the game really well, like I said. Alan looked up for it. James Rodriguez was everywhere. Gylfi was getting about the pitch as well. But I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'm not just saying it because of the scenario tonight and the two defensive errors, but I really don't think Everton can play that 5 at the back formation. I've said it numerous times on the channel. I don't think Michael Keane is comfortable playing in a 5 at the back. I just don't think he understands that role enough. He seems to always be out of position, or always making silly defensive errors, or not really knowing where he should be. I just don't think he's comfortable in playing that 5 at the back formation. In a 4, Michael Keane very rarely puts in a bad defensive performance. Today, in a 5, he was dreadful. He was everywhere. The two defensive mistakes are schoolboy. If they were to be done on a Sunday league pitch with 22 amateurs on the pitch, or 22 lads from down the pub, you'd moan and say it's a shocking mistake. It was awful today, and like I said, we were the team on top. There wasn't a lot of chances in the game. It wasn't like we were absolutely getting forward and pelting Tottenham with opportunities, but we looked comfortable on the ball. We looked confident. We looked assured. We were getting forward. We were pressing them. Tottenham weren't really coming with much, and then one simple ball into the box, which we shouldn't be allowing anyway. We shouldn't be allowing that ball to come in the box in the first place. But one simple ball in the box, Michael Keane's got the easiest header in his life. Harry Kane's probably standing there at this point, probably thinking, bloody hell, how have you put that so close to the defender's head? And he jumps up, it grazes past his head, it completely misses it. Mason Holgate sat on the floor, and it falls to Harry Kane. And yes, it's a decent touch and it's a decent finish, but like I said, if he doesn't score that, then he shouldn't be playing in the Premier League, because it's an easy goal to score. He takes it down and he slots it past Jordan Pickford, and all of a sudden a decent start for Everton, a comfortable, collected start for Everton, has seen us 1-0 down through a stupid defensive mistake. We go up the pitch and almost instantly win a penalty. Look, there's been a lot of discussion. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? I think it's Reguilon comes in behind James Rodriguez. Is there contact made with the feet? I don't know, but there's certainly a push in the back, or there's certainly Reguilon puts his 2 arms on James Rodriguez's back. And I'm not being funny or not, and if you're watching this reaction and you're thinking it's not a penalty, it's never a penalty, this, that and the other, Anthony Martial, Mohamed Salah, Harry Kane, Son, all of these players get these penalties week in, week out, and nothing ever gets said about it. Sky spent about the next 15, 20 minutes crying about why it shouldn't have been a penalty and why Michael Oliver made the wrong decision. But when Mohamed Salah lashes himself on the floor or Anthony Martial does it, they don't bat an eyelid. They say, oh, it's modern day football, that's what it is. So that's what that was tonight. It was modern day football. Reguilon puts his hands on James' back. Is there much contact? Probably not, but I don't care, because in this day and age, those penalties are given to every team in the league. They're given to the top 4 teams every single week. You see it constantly. And we got one this week, and it's about time Everton got a penalty like that, where you sort of think, oh, that's a bit dubious. I'm not arsed, because it's about time we got a decision like that. James goes down, penalty given. VAR obviously checks it, because that's what VAR is there for. Continues to give the penalty. Gylfi steps up, and it's a brilliant penalty. Really, really nice, calm finish into the bottom corner, and it's 1-1. And you're thinking, right, we're back in it now. We gave away a stupid goal with a silly mistake, and we're right back in it. Let's go out and go and take control of this game again. And for the rest of the game, up until obviously, we scored the second goal, I think we had a plethora of opportunities to put Tottenham to bed, really. James Rodriguez has one where there's a nice bit of play between him and Gylfi, I think, and he gets slid in one-on-one in front of the goalkeeper. He takes a shot, and it's right at Lloris. It's right at Lloris. Richarlison had one, I think, even prior to the penalty, where he's fed in brilliantly by James Rodriguez. He takes the shot, and it's an easy save by Lloris. We had a couple of corners which were floated in and just weren't attacked well enough. And we had a plethora of chances and a plethora of opportunities to go ahead in that game a lot earlier than what we did. And it sort of was a little bit reminiscent of the Crystal Palace game, and you're sitting here thinking, how can we have as many chances as we've had and still not be going in winning? I think we had 10 chances, 10 attempts on goal, and it is, again, like I said at the start of the video, you are sort of sitting there thinking, well, it's a lot better than we have been in recent weeks, because I don't think we had 10 attempts on goal in the entire Brighton and Palace game combined, never mind the first half of those games. So it's much more positive, and it's a lot better than we have been, but it's still not good enough, because we still have to, well, we probably did in the Palace game, we had loads of chances then, but certainly not in the Brighton game, but it's still not good enough, because we're still not taking those chances. We come out at half time, and again, the second half, we started exactly like we ended the first half. James gets forward again, absolutely everywhere tonight. James Rodriguez, he showed tonight that 100% James Rodriguez is one of the best midfielders in this league by a country mile, and is in fact the best technical player at our football club. He showed that by a country mile tonight. 100% fit James Rodriguez is everywhere. He's creating everything. He's getting the ball. The amount of chances he created tonight, whether it was a through ball to Sigurdsson, whether it was a through ball to Richarlison, whether it was the through ball to Josh King at the end, he deserved 3 or 4 assists tonight, and if we could finish our dinner, he'd have got them. I know he had one chance himself that he could have scored, but ultimately, you'd put your house usually on James to score that, and he didn't this time, and look, it is what it is. But we started the second half much like we ended the first half. We were getting forward again. We were creating opportunities. I think Richarlison had another couple from decent areas. Ben Godfrey had one, I think, just at the end of the first half. James swings an unbelievable ball in, and it's a brilliant free kick in, and it just needs somebody to get on the end of it. I mean, Michael Keane and Mason Holgate had an absolute nightmare for the 2 defensive goals in terms of heading. Wouldn't have done them much harm for one of them to get their head on one of those James Rodriguez balls. I think Ben Godfrey gets on the end of one, and he heads it over. And yeah, like I said, we start the second half. Again, we're looking the much better team. We're creating opportunities. Tottenham aren't really having a sniff. Seamus Coleman comes on off the bench for Alex Iwobi, who'd had a shocker tonight, to be fair. I thought Alex Iwobi stunk the place out, didn't do anything whatsoever. Seamus comes on, and within a couple of minutes, darts down that right-hand side. Unbelievable ball in. By the way, Seamus Coleman deserves so much credit. That lad in the last 3 games has been exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. He come off the bench today. He was, he didn't start the game, probably due to fitness issues. Come off the bench again today, and it's an unbelievable ball into the box. And another lad who deserves an awful lot of credit is Gylfi Sigurdsson. That finish is exceptional. To open his body like that and to connect with that ball, with the pace in which the ball was coming into the box, to get the accuracy on it and to curl it into that bottom corner is just absolutely exceptional. It was a brilliant finish. And yet, like I said, I thought Gylfi Sigurdsson had a really good game today. I thought he was on top. And then again, we continue to create chances, we continue to create opportunities, we're getting forward, and you're sort of thinking, we really have to take. We're going to have to take these chances at one point. We can't let this game be another one that we sit there at the end of it and go, we should have done a lot better. Another chance comes by. Tottenham Hotspur this time come up the other end. Again, at this point, Harry Kane had been very quiet since his goal. Son had been quiet for the entire game. Ball comes in, completely, comfortable ball to deal with. For some reason, Michael Keane heads it onto the back of Mason Holgate. It bounces back to Harry Kane. And again, you can talk about it being an excellent finish. You can talk about it being brilliant, this, that and the other. But ultimately, Harry Kane stood in the 6-yard box with nobody around him. And you would expect him to finish it all day long. He slides into the top corner. And again, you are sort of then, we're all sitting there thinking, is this going to be another game where we drop points through stupid defensive errors and not taking our opportunities up the other end? We then had a couple of really big chances towards the end. Like I said, Josh King's come on at this point. James plays him in. He hits it at the keeper. It was harder to hit it at the keeper, to be fair. It was much easier to slot it into the bottom corner, but he doesn't. He hits it straight at Lloris. Richard then bounces off Lloris, and the bigger miss is Richarlison. It falls to Richarlison 15 yards out from goal, and he lashes it over the bar. Again, Richie wasn't really involved tonight, and again, I don't particularly blame Richie for that, because he was a lone striker and he was doing a lot of his work sort of on his own up top. But when you get those chances, when you're a striker in a game like tonight, where it's a 6-pointer for both teams, really, certainly in the fight for Europe, and the ball falls to you with 5-10 minutes to go in the 6-yard box, and it's rebounded from the keeper. I know it fell at him fast, and I know it was a hard chance to control, but you simply have to do better than that. He only has to keep it on the floor. If he keeps that on the floor and he doesn't lean back, it goes in the back of the net and we win the game. But he leans back, he lashes it over, and it's a sitter. Ultimately, it's a sitter. There's no other way to go about it. And then, James has one at the end of the game, I think, and the game fades out, and yeah, referee blows the final whistle, and that was the tail of it, really. It's difficult how to feel about this one, I think, because we were a lot better today than we were against Brighton. We were a lot better than we were against Palace, in my opinion. But we still weren't good enough. That Tottenham team isn't very good whatsoever. Don't let anybody trick you. That Tottenham team isn't great whatsoever. No disrespect to Tottenham, but if you're a Tottenham fan watching this, you're probably sitting there saying, yeah, we were poor today. We got 2 goals through our striker finishing chances when they were gifted to him with defensive errors. But other than that, what did Tottenham have? What did Tottenham do? They had a spell of 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes towards the end of the game after they scored the equaliser, where they were the team on top before we sort of pushed on in the last couple of minutes. But other than that, what did Tottenham really do? And that's ultimately the big frustration. That's the frustration now, as we're sitting here at the end of another game that we desperately needed to win in the fight for Europe, and we've not taken our chances, we've missed clear chances, and we've gifted them 2 goals. If Harry Kane had scored 2 absolute worldies from 35 yards, you'd sit there and go, you know what, it's an entertaining game that. They scored 2 good goals, we scored, Skilfy Cut scored a fantastic goal and a penalty. It is what it is, we should have taken our chances. But it's such a thorn in our throats that the 2 goals they scored were ridiculous defensive errors, and I mean ridiculous defensive errors. I played footy 5-a-side on Tuesday, and if one of the 4 lads I was playing with made those errors, you'd be pretty unhappy with them. And that's a few lads having a kickabout on a Tuesday night, never mind Premier League level football. It's not good enough. It simply isn't. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, as much as we might need to play a 5 at the back at the moment, and as much as a 5 at the back might benefit us going forward, defensively we just can't play it. Michael Keane, even Mason Holgate, Yerry Mina when he's in there. Ben Godfrey, I thought, had a good game today, as he always does, to be fair. But specifically Michael Keane and Mason Holgate, I just don't think they can play a 5 at the back. I don't necessarily think they're bad players. I don't necessarily think they've had a bad season, but they both cannot play that formation. They simply can't, and that was shown today. They were all over the place. Communication was all over the place, and both goals were embarrassing to concede. Absolutely embarrassing. And it's disappointing, because we've performed a lot better tonight than we had performed in the last couple of games, and we still haven't won the game through silly errors and ultimately through not taking our chances at the end of the game. But yeah, look, is the race for Europe up? I don't know. I really think we needed to win that game today to give us that little bit of a momentum push on to the next few weeks. Maybe we'll still take a bit of momentum and a bit of confidence into the next few games, because we performed a lot better tonight than we have done recently. But I really think we needed the win today to just give us that little bit of a push going forward. And ultimately, when you don't take chances and when you give up silly goals like that and you don't win, where's that momentum coming from now between now and the end of the season? Tottenham Hotspur will be a lot happier with their point than Everton will be. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because despite the fact we were better than we were against Brighton, we're still sitting here and it's the same outcome, 3 draws on the bounce. And tonight's one, arguably the most frustrating of them all. Not the most upsetting, but the most frustrating, because at least with Brighton, we could say we were awful. We didn't turn up whatsoever. We were tired. At least with Palace, we could say we missed a plethora of opportunities, this, that and the other. But tonight, it was sort of a mix of both. The defensive mistakes weren't good enough and we missed those opportunities. And tonight, we really needed to win that game. We were coming up against a fellow European competitor and a team that, we needed to leapfrog with a win and get a little bit of momentum on, and we just couldn't do it. Frustrating in the end. Were we better than we have been? Yes, we were, and hopefully we see those types of performances, and by that I mean Everton actually pressing teams, Everton pushing teams, Everton actually looking like they want to go out and win a game of football rather than sitting back and not wanting to lose like it was against Brighton on Monday. But we've still got a lot of work to do. We need to be a lot better defensively and we need to be a lot more clinical going forward. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. Don't forget to check out the Football News 365 app. Top link in the description. Keeps you up to date with all your latest football news, scores, predictions, all of that good stuff. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll get involved with as many of them as possible. Play ratings will be on the way shortly. Cheers for watching. Another frustrating night. Better, but still frustrating, still ultimately deflating with the results, but there you go. Let me know what you think. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon.